So we see them at church programs, kids in bathrobes. There's always three of them. They are the three wise men, and they're part of the Christmas story. But we wonder, what is their story? Well, for the answer, I will use a book by Ernest L. Martin, and I will use something from the book of Daniel. And it goes back to 500 years before Christ was born. His name was Daniel, and he was taken into custody with a number of other Jewish people into the kingdom of Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar was not a good man. He was a bad man, an evil tyrant. He was the ruler of Babylonia. And when you went to serve the king of Babylonia, they gave you new names. They gave you new customs. They gave you new gods. But Daniel, a devout Jew, would not forget his God. And King Nebuchadnezzar had a series of bad dreams. It was the same dream over and over again. And he was so worried, it caused great anxiety. He was losing sleep. So he called his wise men together, and they said, "Oh, what is it, O great ruler?" He said, "I had a terrible dream. I need you to interpret it." And they said, "Great. Tell us the dream, and we'll tell you what it means." And he said, "Not so fast. You tell me what I dreamed, and then interpret it." And they said, "King Nebuchadnezzar, no man can do that." And then he said, and I quote, "I have firmly decided this. You will be chopped into pieces and your houses turned into piles of rubble." And he was serious. He ordered all of the Magi to be executed in such a way. Well, Daniel and his group were in this group of Magi, and they were rounded up to be killed as well. And Daniel said, "What's going on?" And they told him, and he said, "Well, perhaps not I, but my God can interpret the dream." And so he does. King Nebuchadnezzar says, "What is it?" And he said, "Well, I can't do it, but my God can." And then he proceeded to tell him what the dream was and then what it meant. I won't get into details, but Daniel predicted not only the ruler of Babylonia, but the next three empires, ending with the Roman Empire, followed by the birth of a kingdom that would have no end and a king who would endure forever. So 500 years go by. Astrologers at the time would look at the stars and the planets, and they would try to divine what was going on in the heavens. And the Magi, these are people who believed not in God, but in God, in the creation. So they would look at the earth, wind, and fire, and they would look at the heavens. They called that the quintessence, and they believed that signs would come from the heavens. And they had the whole world mapped out in a horoscope. And the ruling country at the time was Rome, and they were in Leo, in that astrological sign. And so there were all tremendous signs and wonders and meetings of planets and things like that. And the idea would be that this was proof that Rome was now firmly established and would endure forever. Everybody believed that in the known world, except the Magi. They remembered the greatest member of their sect, named Daniel, 500 years earlier, had predicted that out of that zodiac, not the zodiac of Rome, but the zodiac sign of Israel, same Leo, out of that sign would come a Messiah whose reign would never end. So they went. They traveled thousands of dangerous miles. They faced ridicule and persecution, but they went because they believed in the possibility of the dreams of Daniel. And so it is today, that people who seek the truth, regardless of what people say, seek the King of Peace, who is the Christ of Christmas.